Hello and welcome back to my channel Patrick Sweat and Run, where I talk about running, trail running and sports in general. And today we are talking about this bad boy right here. It's called the Adidas Terrex Agravic Speed Ultra, and it is one of the most anticipated shoe out there in the market. I used it right now for roughly about 100 kilometers. So I can give you a good cover about durability, stability, comfort and all the specs around it. Just a little disclaimer before that. I bought these shoes on my own. I have no sponsorship with Adidas. So everything that you will hear today from me is my own opinion and my own thoughts of that. So I would say, let's go. So what drew me to this shoe? Well, for myself, I bought it as a race shoe. And I think that's really the aim here. So if you are looking for a lightweight shoe, durable shoe, which gives you this extra speed also on the long distance, this is what it's meant to be. And now we are looking if the specs will hold up to that. So let's talk about the specs right here. We have a 42 millimeter stack height in the back and a 34 millimeter stack height in the forefoot, which gives us an 8 millimeter drop. The lugs right here are from 2.5 to 3.5 millimeters. And as you can see, we have the Continental rubber that is on pretty much every top-notch racing shoe in the Adidas line. So if we have a deeper look on the lugs right here, you can see that they are bidirectional, which means on the forefoot, they are going in that way. They give you a good stability if you run uphill. And on the heel, they are directly in the other direction. So in theory, they should give you a really good stability if you go downhill. As for the fit, the shoe is true size. I go for 36 in an EU measurement and an 11.5 in the US. And it's definitely my size right here. It has a good fit overall, a bit of a sock-like feeling. The only thing is the upper material is pretty thin, which comes down to the measurements of the weight. So they really try to reduce the weight right here. I have to say after 100 kilometer, it's fine, it's completely okay. Let's see how this will be in the future if you go for 200-300 kilometers. So the upper material, the mesh, is really breathable. I didn't have any problems with moisturing or something like that. So it's good if it's good conditions, if the weather is good. Nevertheless, when it's getting rainy, of course you get wet. I mean, it's an outside sport. We don't have any Gore-Tex material in here, something like that. So yeah, it's very breathable. It has a light weight, which is meant to be as a race shoe, and it gives you a good breathable condition. Speaking about the areas of the shoe, the heel area, I have to say, for me felt a little bit unstable. If we look on the measurements here, you can see this is very narrow, very thin. As for the forefoot, we go a little bit wider. For myself, I really enjoyed the shoe when I was running uphill because you have a really wide base right here. As for the downhill, it felt a little bit more unstable, at least for me. So one of the special features about this shoe is the so-called energy rods right here. You can see them here and you can see them on the other side. It is actually the first Adidas Terrex shoe that has these rods. It's important to say that they are not a carbon material, so it's not like in the racing shoes from Adidas that you have for the road, but the idea is the same. If you would look between these two areas here where the energy rods are located, they are like fingers, and the idea is that they will fit to your shoe and give you this extra push if you move the shoe like this and then give you a push forward. So that's the idea. After 100 kilometers, I have to say I really felt this push forward and this little extra energy that these energy rods will give you back. So overall, it is a good mix of responsiveness and control that is really important for these longer runs that you will try to do in this shoe. So speaking about cushioning and comfort, we have a Lightstrike Pro foam right here, in between, as I said before, the energy rods. And the Lightstrike Pro material, you maybe know it from the racing shoes on the street. It is a really good mixture of absorption. So if you go on rocky terrain or rocky trails, it really gives you a good absorption. You doesn't feel anything so much on the rocks, but also give you a good proportion and good bounce in the forefront. So either way, for me, if I was going the longer distances, it was a good material. I didn't feel any fatigue in it. It's just a good mixture of the foam. So speaking about traction of the shoe, as I said before, we have lugs in the deepness of 2.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter. When I tested the shoe, it felt really good on tri-terrain, uphill, downhill, no problem at all. On rocky terrain, it was no problem, sandy as well. When it gets wet though, when it gets really muddy, you might want to choose a shoe which has deeper lugs up until to 4 millimeters. And also, as I said before, if you go downhill and you want to use the heel, because it is so narrow, so thin here, I would grab another shoe. So speaking about durability, after 100 kilometers that I tested this shoe, overall it looks very good. Lugs are not really shaped out, still have a good grip. Upper mesh is also in good shape. Of course it gets a bit dirty, but that's all it gets. Nevertheless, since it's so thin, so breathable, I would say we have to look for another 100 kilometers or 200 kilometers to really see an effect. But after 100k, it is in good shape, no problem, you can use it. All right, speaking about pros and cons of this shoe. Pros. It is lightweight. It is the racing shoe of the Adidas line right now, which is definitely a pro. Another pro is the absorption, is the foam right here. The Lightstrike Pro has a good absorption, a good bounce forward because of the energy rods. So this is something that you will not miss. Another pro is, at least on the tri-terrains, it's a good grip of the Continental sole right here. That was also very good. And you can go long distances with that. So this is also a good shoe if you want to do a long run on the weekend and you don't have anything else. So that is your fourth pro. Speaking about the cons of this shoe. Well, it is not a beginner shoe. That must be clear. It is a racing shoe. It is for people who are known to trail running shoes. For beginners, it could hurt in your calves. So you might want to try maybe another shoe at first. Second con, it is not so grippy when it goes to really wet and muddy terrain. So you might want to look out for some other shoes. And what could be a con is, as I said before, the upper mesh, which is maybe not so durable for the long term. So my final thoughts for that shoe. After 100 kilometers, I can definitely say it's one of my favorites right here. It is right now it is my racing shoe, and also if I go for longer distances like on the weekend. The energy rods really give you a push forward. This makes the difference for this shoe, and even though it's on a high price level, it pays you the price back. So overall, I can only suggest you this shoe if you are an experienced runner. If you are looking for a new racing shoe in your rotation, that is the one that you need to have. So guys, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked it, please drop down a comment, subscribe to my channel for more reviews, more content about running, trail running and sports in general. And I would say have fun with this one. See you out there in the trails and see you next time.